How's it going, everyone? My name is Trev Barnes. Thank you very much for tuning into today's video. It's been some time since I put a video out. Had a lot going on between work. My fiance and I just went to Europe. While I was gone and wasn't making videos, I gained like 100 new subscribers, so that is so awesome. Thank you guys for tuning into the channel. Definitely one of the videos that's been getting some attention. I'll definitely be making more videos in the style of that, like these let's make beat type videos, I guess. So with all that to say, like I said, I just got back from vacation. Sometimes I feel like you need a vacation from your vacation because we were gone for like 17 days. That's an insanely long time to vacation. I don't ever recommend it. But since I just want to kind of chill, let's make a lo-fi beat. So I loaded up this lo-fi kit of just various samples that I've collected through the years. It's a lot of softer, kind of more distorted samples. I don't have any plugins on them just yet. I just put the kit together. I'll be playing on this Korg micro key for the drums and everything. So that's kind of what the kit sounds like. Just very, very dark sounds. I think we need to make it a little faster. All right, let's go ahead and record something. So now that I got kind of my initial loop, I'm going to go ahead and just go through some of the tracks, just do some light mixing. Really, we're just looking for warmth. We're looking for kind of like a hard knock, looking for some saturation. So let's see what we can do. Did I use enough buzzwords for old lo-fi tape stuff? So I absolutely love to use the VMR from Slate Digital. Usually has exactly what I need just to make it warm. I like fewer controls, and just having a couple knobs to choose from is a dream to me. Whenever I mix, I never really look for precise. I just look at the whole band and just adjust whatever needs to. I'm sure that drives some producers online crazy, but it's the way I do it, not the way how you do it. So I'm just gonna add a little knock and saturation. This is one of my favorite ones, the New York Pre. Probably good there. Now I'm going to add a compressor. I'm using kind of like the silver face vintage 1176 model that they have. Sounds pretty good. It's knocking good. Knocking. The words that producers use to describe things are always my favorite. If you came here for professional music advice and mixing advice, I'm so sorry. This one's typically my favorite EQ to use. I believe it models a API. I'm not too sure, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. But I'm gonna go ahead and roll off some top end. Let's add some low end. I hear some like disturbance in the mid-range, so what I'm gonna do is just bump this up a little bit and kind of search for where that harshness is coming through. So that sounds good for the kick. Now we're gonna move on to the hi-hat. So what I'm looking for in the hi-hat is really just kind of a softness, more of a warmth. I don't want it to be too sharp. I want it to kind of sit under the mix. So obviously first we're gonna distort it a good bit. For EQ, I'm going to use this Neve one because it has a really nice low pass. Does a good job at softening. So this is it after and before. It's very bright. So next we're going to edit the rim. I want the rim to be very sharp, but also kind of have a sense of softness as well. Just like how we did for the hi-hat. I don't want it to be too bright and stand out. I really want it to kind of just lay back, be a little knock. So for the compressor, I used the distressor model that they have. It's pretty aggressive at the moment. The input's turned up pretty high. Attack is a little lower, release is kind of mid-range, so more so of a quick attack, a quick release. It's pretty snappy. Let's go ahead and throw on an EQ. I'm going to take some high end out. And we're really going to focus on the mid range here. So let's just go ahead and sweep. Right there sounds pretty good. Let's go ahead and filter out some low end as well. What I like about this EQ as well, if you don't push this drive in, you have this volume and it's just a clean volume. But when you push it in, it drives it and it distorts it in a really tasteful way. It's a really interesting part of the plugin. So let's listen in total. We have the hi-hat still sounds a little too harsh. There we go. Much better. I have some other things in here as well. Yeah, I just have a couple other sounds that I want to throw in after. I have a different idea. Let's make sure we quantize these, get them exactly where we want them to be. I think this sample has to be a little bit ahead of the snare. Yeah, because if it lines up right with it, it sounds a little too off. Well, it sounds too off, actually. Maybe I'm wrong. And then let's do something with this guy. Alright, and I'm not really going to quantize that. I like it to be offbeat. That's what kind of lo-fi is. It's about not being perfect. It's about being human. So I think I got a good place to start with the sound of the drums. Now what we're going to do is take that kit, glue it together. We're going to compress the whole thing together so it sounds unison. So this is my favorite, the FG401. It's probably my favorite bus compressor, and you'll see why. So I'm going to set my attack to fast, the release a little more slow, and we're just going to pull back the threshold and just listen. Just listen. It just has such a good knocking character of a compressor. So this is without and with. Let's go ahead and throw an EQ on it. So this is what we started off with. All we really added so far is a compressor and an EQ, and this is what it sounds like. So now I'm going to add stereo by Kilohertz. I mentioned this plugin in a video and how I use it all the time. If you're listening on headphones, you're going to notice it. If you're not, then you're not going to notice it. But this is called stereo, and listen to what this plugin does if we just adjust it a little bit. You don't want to go too far because you start to lose it. You want to make sure your low end is pretty centered, but the mid and high starts to spread, and it sounds so different on a mix. This is without it, with it. The details vary minute, but it will make a difference, I promise. So I have one contact instrument, and it's Session Keys. It's their package called Upright, and it has my favorite piano sound in the world. It's a nice, it's just a straight up old upright piano. They have another one, it's like kind of a modern upright, but I prefer the classic. And there's a couple things in tonality that we can do. Like we can raise the noise of the key, but I'm also really interested in the color settings because they have a worn tape setting. Turn it up about halfway. And it just adds such an interesting character to it. So I made a melody out of that. I like it. It's simple. It's not too complicated. Let's go ahead and adjust it a little bit. I think it's a little too harsh, so we need to kind of just soften the hits a little bit. So basically I just doubled that piano track. I brought in an electric piano, just the default Logic's classic electric piano, and it filled up insanely. This is it without the piano layering it. And this is with the piano. I think it's sounding nice so far. It needs a bass. There's a bass in here called Synth E bass, and it sounds so good. It's just a very soft electric bass, and it usually gets the job done pretty well. Actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna match it and align it with the kick. Let's bring this up to our key. And we're just gonna drag these notes out. So it's kind of like an 808. It's like, put a major low pass filter over the bass. I'll explain why. I don't usually do this on bass. This isn't like something practical, but it gave it a much softer sound. This is without it. There's a lot going on in the mid range. When we take that out, it just tucks the bass in. Because I don't want the bass to stand out. I want it to be tucked in. Told a good night story. Let's add some guitar. So for guitar today, I'm using my Fender Chris Shiflett Signature Telecaster Deluxe. Definitely gonna put some compression, delay, and reverb. Fun fact, I'm also using a Barnes in the Heart pick. Who remembers that band that I was in? That was a good time. That was a really good time. Definitely a lot of good memories with that band. I'm severely out of tune. All right, now we're in tune. So essentially in lo-fi music, the seventh is so important. So the difference between a seventh and a chord, this is just a normal chord. That's your normal major chord. But when we bring in the seventh, oh my, that sounds lovely, doesn't it? So when we hear it in the context with the beat, it just fits so much better. So let's hear it if it was just major. Sounds fine, but it kind of sounds boring. So the seventh makes it interesting. I don't know anything about music theory. I don't know a lot of stuff, but you don't have to know this stuff to know what sounds good. Let's go ahead and just track some light little washes. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to kind of separate the track, arrange it in the order of which we want it. So it's going to start off with just the piano, I think. So if we arrange it like this so far, what does that sound like? So the track is about 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, just a little bit over that. So I think I'm just gonna do some light soloing over it, not do anything crazy. Yeah, we'll just see how that sounds. So I really want to keep this track minimal, not have a lot of parts to it. It'd be very simple, even in the mixing. So a lot of presets or defaults were used, like the guitars. I mean, this is practically the default, just with a couple of adjustments, which proves you don't need much to make something, you know, that you can be proud of. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna solo the loudest parts of the songs, which is the chorus. We're just gonna play it and just start leveling. Typically when I mix, I do it at very low volumes. Like my interface is hardly blasting anything out of my speakers right now. I really like to listen to what the track needs. So one thing I want to do right here is I want to throw in one of my cassette plugins. I have kaput, and this is what it sounds like. Go ahead and put it on both. There's a plugin called Haas. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but this is the guitar without it, and this is the guitar with it. It duplicates the channel tracks, and it makes it sound like it's doubled. So the track is done. It's sounding amazing to me. It's very soft. I call it Vacation from Vacation, inspired by my tiredness from vacation. If you're a content creator, video editor, whatever it may be, and you need music, I'm gonna be posting this song in a different video on its own. Feel free to use it, no copyright issues. Use it for wherever you want. If you wanna tag me, I would greatly appreciate it. Don't feel like you have to though. Music is art, you should be able to use it in whatever way that you want. But I'm gonna go ahead and let it play. Again, this is Vacation from Vacation. Hope you enjoy it. you guys so much again for checking out this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, do whatever YouTube wants you to do nowadays. But definitely appreciate you stopping by. If you want more content like this, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.